welcome to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. I'm Silver. We do not have Chaotic here, but we have two wonderful guests to help out with the episode. Who would like to go first on introduction?
I suppose I pulled the short straw, so I will introduce myself first. I'm Rusalka of Twitch. You can find me at Rusalka_Rusalka. And I am a Yowie novice, so I'm very excited today to learn all about them from our expert, who will introduce herself next, I believe.
Just looking up what my social handle was because I can't remember it. Hi! That's probably a very apt introduction. I'm Wendy Bird. I'm an Aussie author, and you can find me at wendybird.13 at Instagram, apparently. My phone tells me. And I'm here to talk about Yowies.
Yowie
zowie. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we stand today and pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people should be aware that this episode may contain names of people who have since passed away. So, shall we just begin?
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not nervous at all. Okay, so. Yep.
Just so our listeners know, this is kind of also our first three-continent episode where we have three separate continents going on.
Yeah.
3 separate time zones.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Silver's up real late. Wendy and I are just like kind of lunchtime-ish.
In the afternoon-ish. Yeah.
Yep.
Having
a good time. Just chilling while Silver's just... This is probably your normal, like, waking hours, though.
I'm usually awake this hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Because your sleep schedule is absurd.
Sleep schedule? What is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, we coordinated it. We did it. I'm proud of us.
Yes. And I absolutely logged in and was ready to go thinking this was half an hour later and not 5 minutes, and didn't panic at all and quickly found my microphone because I'm so great at time.
I feel like sometimes that's better though if you're nervous about something, is you just like, suddenly get shot into it, because then
it's like, oh, okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah, especially for like decision making. I think that like it makes you really like make your commitments fast.
Too many of important decisions have been made this way. I guess, did you just want me to start talking, Silver? Or like,
either me or you, whichever. If you want, yes, I got some description and stuff, and
I've got a lot.
If you want to teach me in Rusalka,
yeah, sure. I'm really taking advantage of the fact this is edited. I'll be real. Let's be real. I'm just floundering around a bit.
I will say I saw like one of the things I liked that I saw was there's like these various people who claim to be like experts, and one of them was named like Tim the Yowie Man.
Yes.
And you were like Wendy the Yowie woman for this episode. Like you are going to be the source of all of my information. It's not going to be biased. It's 100% true, whatever Wendy says in my book. And
don't put that on the internet.
You are no. Put that as like the main thing of this is like Wendy is like the source. She's the new Yowie woman.
I'm an Australian autistic person who has some focuses that I can't let go of. That's who I am. My special interest.
You're going to have to really bring out the lawyers for this one, Silver. I'm sorry. I hope you have the retainer paid.
Where's that legal disclaimer I wrote for you?
This is what happens when you sign me up for these things. But anyway, take it away, Wendy. I'm excited.
All right. Spirit, animal, cryptic, monster, all of these terms have been used to describe the Yowie, a creature of Australian folklore and Aboriginal oral history. Generally, the term Yowie is used to describe two very different creatures. So on one hand, you have the sometimes aggressive ape-like monster ranging from 6 to 10 feet tall, walking upright and covered in hair, often described as hairy people, hairy man, even hairy woman in some accounts. The other cryptid is described as a much smaller creature, 4 to 5 feet in some cases, with 4 toes on each foot, also covered in hair, but with long nails and big teeth. By contrast, this creature is said to mostly keep to itself. Not only does the description of this creature change, but the name as well changes depending upon which culture, which person you're talking to. It has been labeled the Yahoo, the Devil, or the Yowie is another one, with the name varying, like I said, between different indigenous peoples and languages, but also heavily influenced by white colonists and their own accounts of sightings or legends allegedly told to them by Aboriginal people. For instance, the term Yowie itself is said to originate from the 1875 account of a missionary named Reverend William Ridley. In his work exploring and studying Aboriginal language, he describes the Yowie, and he spells it Yowi, as a spirit instead that roams over the earth at night. The Macquarie Dictionary, a common staple in Australian classrooms, also describes the Yowie as a dream spirit attributed to the Yowie people of Mackay, Queensland. So it can be this monster, it can be an animal, or it can be a spirit. According to Dean Harrison of the Australian Yowie Research website, really cool website, Aboriginal belief accounts for both beneficial and evil spirits. So in this case, it appears that throughout different accounts, the evil spirit is more commonly attributed to the Yahoo version of it, or Devil, which is the ape-like giant type creature I talked about. This makes sense, as A.W. Howard calls in 1904, as in Aboriginal culture, a ghost not only can be human, but it can be applied to beings who live in trees, rocks, caves, and mountains and the like. Similar to the origins of the word Yowie, the term devil is said to be influenced by white settlers in the way that, fascinatingly enough, a United States exploring expedition from 1832 to 1842, the term devil was actually introduced to the Aboriginal people by white people. So they have contributed to what you know as the Yowie, basically.
I have a question. About, like,
please.
So there's like these different names, and there's kind of like, but these like kind of groups of names apply to slightly different variations. So like you have some that are described as being quite on the shorter side comparatively to the ones that are like over 2 meters tall, like quite big creatures. Some, and then like some are a little bit shyer, more reclusive, while others are maybe a little more aggressive and troublemakers. But they all seem to have like that kind of like long hair, like healthy keratin, like really, like that's kind of like the unifying feature of them is
Yes.
like the hairiness and humanoid bipedal nature. Or
yeah, from what I've read, it seems to be that's the defining characteristic. It's this creature that is humanoid, but also kind of like ape-like, and it has hair all over its body. That seems to be the thing that keeps popping up. Yeah, the distinctive thing that
where people are like, oh, that's a Yowie or a Yahoo. Or, okay.
Another trait that you see more than once across, whether it's the bigger version or the smaller version, is that they appear to have their feet change, or they have feet that are on backwards, so that the footprints appear to be in a different direction, and it makes it more difficult.
These are people like saying they see them. So
yes.
That's like, if you see the footprints, how can you say like, well, those are backwards footprints? It's like,
no.
They're just heading the different.
There's a lot of stories. I have a lot. I loved going down this rabbit hole. I knew a lot of them before.
Feet is just physically,
but we've
unstable.
We've got cryptozoologists, we've got convicts, we've got people talking about what their grandmother used to tell them when they went to sleep at night. We've got people who claim to have taken video. We've got this picture that I absolutely love, where you've got two men sitting on a log, and on the other side of the log is what appears to be this giant Yowie. And that's, it's I love
you gotta
it
send me
so
that
much. Yeah, I will, because I love all of this. There's so many accounts, and like you've got the website that I referenced before. It has a button where you can report a Yowie sighting. So he's had like thousands of all these. It's great fun reading all of this. It really, truly is.
Oh man.
Like there was even a reward offered by one
I saw that.
guy.
Yeah, there was like
yeah.
I saw that more recently there was like in olden times, I don't remember when exactly, some guy who reported having seen it, he was like, I'll capture it for $40 or like 40 pounds.
Yes, 40 pounds.
And I guess no one took him up on that, or he just like couldn't do it. But then I saw later
wrote that exact thing down. I'm trying to find it.
But then I saw later that like some festival or like some like group was like, okay, we'll pay 200,000 Australian dollars to anyone who can.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it. Okay.
Oh.
Henry James McCooey, which is an awesome name, claimed to have seen what he called an indigenous ape on the New South Wales coast. He claimed he threw a stone at it and it fled, and it was 5 foot and it was covered in hair. And he offered a $40 pound, you are correct, reward for its capture for the Australian Museum. But no one appears to have taken him up on the offer.
Yeah. Everyone was like, nah.
No, we just let it be.
Yeah.
They decided it was too big to try and go capture.
Maybe. I saw it's the mid 1970s, the Queanbeyan Festival Board, and 2CA offered 200,000 Australian dollars for the capture and presentation of a Yowie, but it remains unclaimed.
That makes a lot of sense, because a lot of the accounts that I read of like modern sightings and in the media, like newspapers, there were whole newspaper articles on this, are all around, like a big flux of them is the 1970s.
Yeah.
So the Northern Star newspaper released a story, and there were 2 sightings by women 10 months apart in the same area. One woman claims in the middle of the night she was looking out her kitchen window basically, and she saw 2 Yowie creatures just walk onto her lawn, started hanging out, both again 5 feet tall, covered in tan colored hair. 10 months later, this poor lady, Jean Maloney, I believe, claimed she witnessed her dog being attacked and actually killed by a Yowie. And she claimed it was a 6-foot ape-like monster covered in ginger hair, it specifically states.
Oh.
A 22-centimeter long footprint was discovered and photographed and sent to the University of Queensland. Shout out, best university. That's where I went to, for analysis. But they reached no conclusions. But, and then again, 1977, you have a former Queensland senator. I love my country sometimes.
I saw that there was a senator.
Yeah, he reported to the Gold. I didn't check the context, but I love this because this happens a lot in Australian media. Some will be just chatting away and they'll just mention something. So this former senator, he just, to the Gold Coast Bulletin, said he had seen a Yowie while on a school trip in Springbrook. I don't know how that came up. And he said it was 3 meters tall, and he compared it to Chewbacca from Star Wars, to give you some image. But
gosh. The dog being attacked, I read an article too that was like more recent from like 2009. And unfortunately this family had a puppy, like 7-month-old puppy, that was killed. And the family, even in the article, the family's like, oh, we think it was dingoes. But apparently this Andrew McGinn, who considers himself like a Yowie expert, he came onto the scene and he's like, no. This is typical Yowie. Like, this is definitely a Yowie. Even though the family's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's dingoes. He's like, this was Yowie. This is absolutely a Yowie.
The Yowie did it. It's like the Australian version of the butler.
Yeah. And then the same article like reports this woman who reported, she was like a mango farmer, and she reported a Yowie being right next to her, and there was footprints, and they then like sent the footprints to be examined by the Northern Territory Museum, and they definitely concluded it was a hoax. Like they were just like, those aren't real. but then this Andrew McGinn guy just goes, no, she definitely met a Yowie. She was terrified. It had to be a Yowie. I'm like, this guy's got some confidence. Like,
oh yeah, like I absolutely love it. And the confidence in which it's a Yowie, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But to sort of bring it back, the second type of the Yowie, so less the ape-like tall one that you hear in all these newspapers, described more as avoiding humans, or at least being clever enough to avoid them, hence why we haven't got any like samples or real proof of it. There's a 1990 book compiled by Aboriginal folklorist and lecturer Frank Pover. He includes many stories taken from interviews with Aboriginal peoples, and in one story the interviewee speaks of their grandmother who told them the stories of the Yowie. So that's Yuuri. And they were little people covered in hair with long nails and big teeth, and they're attributed again to this same Yowie kind of story. He tells it how another elder explaining that the children should go straight to bed after tea. That's dinner for those who aren't Australian. Because of the Yowie, and that if they heard the leaves and boughs rustling on the tin roof, it was in fact these Yowies. And the children were said to go out in the morning and find footprints in the sand with only 4 toes instead of 5. And yeah, get more stories like that from Aboriginal peoples. There is a people in far north Queensland who say they've coexisted with both groups of Yowies for years and years and years, and those type of stories are passed down in the oral tradition. So some are available to us, but some aren't, obviously, in close practice and stuff like that.
It seems like a lot of the stories, all from what I've seen, are circulated around Queensland and New South Wales.
Yeah.
Seems like the hot spot.
It's Yowie territory.
Yeah, there would be some. Northern Territory in Australia is kind of our biggest outback, like where you see, that's where Crocodile Dundee is set and stuff like that. So like,
oh heck yeah, that's like
that's
all my knowledge of Australia,
especially with Rusalka here. I can't not mention Crocodile Dundee.
I mean, it was gonna come up at some point.
Absolutely,
I was holding back this entire time.
I'm proud you lasted this long.
I know. Somebody like put that on the record. 18 minutes, 48 seconds.
Well done.
It's a record for me.
Yeah, no, it there is, if I can find it and my words decide to work. Again, taking advantage of the fact this is edited. Thank you, Silver.
Yep.
I can fill time talking about Crocodile Dundee if you need me to.
Oh yeah, go for it. Where is this thing?
Actually, I can't. It's been so long since I've seen it.
I probably haven't seen Crocodile Dundee in over 10 years.
Oh no.
You know what's another good one is Quigley Down Under. That's another.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Quigley? Oh man, Tom Selleck.
I love Tom Selleck, so now I'm naturally gonna watch it.
Alan Rickman.
Oh, okay.
Believe it? Yeah, another classic Australia. That's again how I learned about Australia. Those 2 formative movies, which are 100% accurate. Again, no need to source check that. Like,
deep breaths, Wendy. Deep breaths.
I learned about it through The Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin.
Oh.
Steve.
Now that's actually probably pretty accurate. That's actually a better source.
That's a very good source, and I'm not going to cry on a podcast because Steve Irwin was mentioned. I'm fine. I completely forgot what I was looking for.
I forget too. I'm sorry. I got you off on Crocodile Dundee. Oh, you were talking about the main regions being Queensland and Northern Australia.
I guarantee I can't find this, but there is a town in this somewhere. This document I've done up, where it's called the unofficial. In Australia, in Queensland, it is, or Northern New South Wales. It is the unofficial capital of the Yowie world. It's been called, and I saw
that one too.
I saw that in a ABC article, which is like our main like Australian broadcasting service kind of deal. So like to find an article by them written all seriously, and it's all about Yowies, and I loved it.
I see Kilcoy and Woodenbong coming up.
Yeah, Woodenbong. That's it.
Woodenbong.
Yep. Woodenbong is the unofficial. Yeah, we're good with the names.
I seen that another name for the Yowie, specifically for the Queensland area, is, if I pronounce it right, Jimbra.
I am not an authority on pronunciation on the best of times. I've done my very best. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly, But yeah.
Yeah.
Jimbra?
It just
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
just
it
sounds
seems
like he goes to the gym.
Yep.
Is it
It seems
Jimbra?
oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh, I
It's
see. Yeah, or like Jimbra. Yeah, I see that.
it seems like there's a lot of J
Jimbra.
versions.
Yeah.
It seems like
Yep.
regional sections of Australia, like you have similar names, but the next section it'll be something completely different. And yeah, there's like 3 J starting names, and then you move like north or you move that, like it depends where you are on what they're
Yeah.
called across the different languages and whatnot. There's so many Aboriginal cultures and languages, and they're all amazing and beautiful, and they really deserve, if anyone wants to go and look, there's Indigenous creators on Instagram and on websites that have absolute wonderful information, is where I got a ton of mine. And even in North Queensland, they have some lovely dream walks and things where they actually share it with you, and it's very touching, very beautiful.
It sounds great. It's no Crocodile Dundee, but I mean, no, I'm kidding. Yeah.
I'm tempted to do a quote from Crocodile Dundee, but it has. I don't think Silver. I think Silver would get in trouble with the particular quote I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure anymore. We've quoted so many different things.
Yep.
Haven't got no cease and desist letter yet.
Oh, that's good. That's always a plus.
Oh man.
Do
you think?
Yeah.
Do you think? This is a key question. Do you think the Yowie and Bigfoot would be like friends if they met? Or do you think they're like family, and the reason they live so far apart is because they like hate each other and they like never want to see each other?
I think it's the second one, because
Yeah.
like I saw so many things where it compared. It's like it's the Australian version of Bigfoot and blah blah blah. And there was an entire book on the subject, I believe, actually, which it had that in the title. So I feel like the Yowie is like the younger brother or something, getting totally sick of being Bigfoot's relative, and they're like, I just want my moment to shine. Like, seriously, mate, I'm not some thing cousin or thing brother. Like, I need my time to shine. I'm much cooler than you. I have much cooler legends. Where's my movie?
Separate continent.
Yeah. Yep. I've had enough. So yeah, I think.
And then the Yeti, who knows?
Yes.
But, yeah.
I feel like Yeti's the chill middle child that's just going, sort your stuff out. I'm just gonna be back here. You guys sort your drama.
Yeah.
Yeti just goes up into the mountains and chills up there.
Yep.
Just like wants peace and quiet. Doesn't care what his stupid rebellious.
The one time you have a Yeti sighting is when Mum's called up and going, I can't handle this. You need to come and sort this out. And that's when you have the rare Yeti sighting, when they have to come sort it out.
Coming to like sort it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is also Japan has their own type of Bigfoot too. I just don't remember its name off the top of my head.
We do? Oh man. Let me see. Japan Bigfoot.
Yeah. What does Google tell us?
Hibagon. Hibagon or Hinagon. Interesting. Oh, it's apparently around Hiroshima.
Oh.
And they basically just call it, they have some, leave it to Japan to make like the cutest little like warning. Like, there's a Bigfoot here. There's one that just says, I just saw like the first one that comes up is just like, Bigfoot welcomes you. In Japanese. But apparently it's somewhere in Hiroshima. I feel like this is like a very common sort of like folklore creature, is this like humanoid bipedal creature with lots and lots of hair, that I feel like there's so many different versions of it. Like Silver, you probably are like the best expert on it, but like I feel like there's so many different variations and cultures of this sort of like similar idea.
Yeah, they're all fairly similar. The descriptions are, Wendy mentioned earlier that they're bipedal humanoid covered in fur, usually a large part of their body, usually their feet.
People just like those. Yeah.
The Ohio area has the big head.
Oh.
It's the same thing, except there's no neck. It's like Juggernaut.
I read that. I read that about the Yowie. It didn't describe it as a big head. It just like it has no neck.
So I saw some of the descriptions where like people were like, yeah, like it didn't have a neck. And I was like, What?
I was trying to picture it, and I automatically, this is where my animation personality kicks in. I automatically started doing this while I was reading all the stuff.
Like hunching up.
Yeah, like, how does that work? Is it like this?
No one will see this. So Wendy is like hunching, like turtle style, into her shoulders.
Turtle.
Yeah.
One of the other things I've seen Australian specific wise about the Yowie is a theory that they haven't really proven anything yet about, or many skeptics, is that the Australian Yowie is a large marsupial.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, like a previously unrealized species. Yeah, I did see a few of that. Most of them that I saw talked about it being the Australian ape or an Australian gorilla. But yeah, I mean, we had giant wombats at one point. If you go into the city here and you see that they had an exhibit with all the like dinosaur era things, and ours have like a giant wombat that's like 3 or 4 of me lying down. I'm pretty sure, so maybe it's not the best description, but it's
like 2 of me.
Yeah, 2 of Rusalka. And you know, the big huge teeth, and it's essentially just a wombat.
Yeah.
Mega sized. So it makes sense that, you know, it might be attributed to a giant marsupial. We have those.
Yes.
Among many other things.
I have another pressing question.
Okay.
That, again, mark this point too. 29 minutes, 25 seconds.
Oh God, here we go. Yep. Hit me with it.
So we touched on this a little bit before we started, but so Australia also apparently has a candy bar called a Yowie. I don't know what this is. Does it have any relationship to this cryptid? And also, I saw that Tim the Yowie man got sued about it.
Yeah.
Like Cadbury sued him about it.
He sued
but he won.
Cadbury. He sued
Cadbury.
So
I
feel like I'm spilling the Australian tea, as it were. Like,
no,
come
please.
into my
I need this
web
Australian
and
tea.
hear this. Okay, so I'm going to get these names right for once in my life. Where I wrote it all down, but naturally I can't find anything because my notes are so great.
First of all, what's a Yowie bar? Is it just like chocolate?
Okay, first of all, you got to stop saying bar. It's not a bar. So
it's not a bar.
No,
Okay.
I'll have to put this on something. But if you can see on the back of this book, it's like a little. That's a little chocolate Yowie.
It's like shaped. Yeah, it's like shaped.
Yeah.
It's got like the foil wrapper.
Yeah,
it's like painted. That's very like nostalgic to me. It's very similar to like.
So you have these
like
sticks.
the Cadbury egg.
Yeah. Yes. Essentially,
well, it's
like
made
a
by
hollow.
Cadbury, I think.
Yeah, it's a hollow chocolate egg, essentially, in the shape of a Yowie, and inside you'd have a little thing that would have an Australian animal of some kind in it. And the thought behind it was...
a non-edible thing? Like a toy?
Yes, like a toy. You had to assemble it a little bit. They were really
we weren't
easy
allowed those in America. We were too dumb for that. We couldn't even have Kinder eggs. Too many
I was going to say, it's similar to a Kinder Surprise, so America, sorry. I don't think you have these.
No.
But I don't think you're allowed these, actually.
No.
But
you get like a little toy inside.
You get a little toy inside. And
was it Yowie themed, or was it just like random?
So the thought behind the Yowies was that this man called Jeff Pike, he was inspired by Australian wildlife, and he was big about the environment. And he decided to make this thing called the Yowie Kingdom. And it's this fictional magical realm free from destructive influence of humanity, where threatened wildlife finds a safe haven. And there So Silver
toys I'm looking at these. Yeah, Silver sent. Sorry, Silver sent like a picture of like all the toys that come inside this little
all the different
Yowie
kinds
egg.
of toys. So yeah,
and these are great. These are like excellent little toys. You get a little rattlesnake.
I have 2 gigantic boxes still from my childhood filled with all of those little tiny toys.
Yeah,
and I used to like threaten my younger sibling to try and get the good ones. Like it was a big thing in our house of collecting. we had printed lists of all the different ones you could try and collect, and we used to meet family friends, and we used to swap the ones we didn't have, and it was this big thing. And apparently we weren't the only ones, because there was a Yowie there still is a Yowie collector scene with collector clubs forming across Australia and New Zealand. There's websites dedicated to it. It's a huge thing.
Wow.
But yeah, the idea behind it was about these 6 Yowies who were guardians of the different wildlife habitats in Australia. So you had Boof, the bottlebrush Yowie, who protected rainforests and mountains. Crag, the mangrove Yowie, protector of swamps and wetlands.
Craig?
Crag.
Oh, Crag. Okay.
Not Craig.
Okay.
Crag. Dissy, the lily-pilly Yowie, protector of woodlands and meadows. Nap, the honeygum Yowie, protector of forests and bushland. Rumble, the red gum Yowie, protector of the deserts and plains. And finally, Squish, the fiddlewood Yowie, protector of rivers and streams. And they were led by their leader, Lord Balthazar the Bunyip, which incidentally is another type of Australian folklore figure. And they protected all the different wildlife predominantly against these kind of like villains called grumpkins. And the
I genuinely thought you were going to say humans. And I was going to be like, yeah, that sounds right.
They softened the blow to say, hey, humans, you're kind of killing us. So they softened it by using the word grumpkins. And they were kind of like personifications of the different threats faced by nature, habitats, and wildlife. So you had Munch, which was careless building, basically. Blob, which is pollution. Ooze was a different type of pollution. Spark, which is literally a walking container of matches, called careless fire lighting. He's very nasty. He's very sassy, by the way. And Slob, who is littering, and then Chomp, who is like the tiger tooth. It's amazing. Chomp was deforestation, naturally. And they did this whole series of books. It sold more than 2 million copies, topping the Australian bestseller list of children's books. I have all of them. I could only find 2 on my bookshelf. I found them the other day, and naturally I can only find 2 now. This one's Squish. He's like a platypus, like a giant purple platypus. And this is Crag that we couldn't pronounce. And he's like best buds with the crocodiles in the swamps.
Aw, look at him. He's having a grand time.
I know, right? And this is brilliant. Crag the mangrove Yowie and the yucky mucky poo grumpkin. That's literally what it's called. And yeah, so it just encourages kids to care about the environment and do better. Oh, there we go. We have a group shot of all the grumpkins.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
See the sassy little matchbox back there? And we got an oil drum. And this is the Chomp one. And so that
the Chomp on the walrus.
Yeah, he looks
like a tiger tooth something. And it's
When was this this looks very
this is 90s. So
I was gonna say it looks very 90s from the style and stuff. They look kind of like that era of villains.
I love
they're kind
of
cute, but they're supposed to be bad.
Yowies came out in 1995. Was the year I was born. Just completely singing my age out there. And yeah, so I love them. I grew up with them, and I have all the stuff. But they pitched the idea to Cadbury in 1994, and Cadbury started producing the chocolates in 1995. They became one of the top selling chocolates in Australia in the late 90s to early 2000s, and they were selling over 1 million units a week. That's how popular they were.
That's a lot.
I mean,
I remember they stopped selling them, and it was huge outroar. I distinctly remember this in high school. It was outroar. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was disappointed. It was like, it's a key thing of our culture. What are you doing? And
this is our culture.
Yeah, this is our thing. Everyone had a Yowie growing up. Our kids aren't going to have Yowies. And it was this huge, huge thing. Anyway, a brand from Perth, Australia, called the Yowie Group in 2012 led to the reemergence because they acquired the brand, and they actually brought Yowies back in Australia and New Zealand in 2017. And again, I was in uni, and I remember all the uni kids in my area were going nuts and saying, you're going to come to Kmart, they're going to bring in Coles, they're going to bring back the Yowies, we have to get the Yowies. And sure enough, today in Kmart, you can go down the road and buy yourself a Yowie at the checkout, and I did in fact have one last month, and it was glorious.
Wow. So there is like a relationship to the folklore
Yes.
creature. Yeah.
Yeah, he borrowed from the legend, and obviously it's completely centered around Australian wildlife and our diverse and very unique animals we have here.
Mm. Mm.
But yeah, the T part is Tim the Yowie Man.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Wikipedia article on it. That's how you know it's like a big deal.
Or at least Tim the Yowie Man thought it was a big deal, so he wrote an article on Wikipedia about it.
Yep. He has a website apparently too, Tim the Yowie Man. Yeah, he does. Here we go. You can an evening at Lake George dinner with Tim the Yowie Man.
You have dinner with him. Is he just turned it into like a dating site for himself?
Let's have a look. I'm very fast. I've never seen this before. Okay, he's got an awesome site with him backpacking and holding some canoe oars on his shoulders, staring off into the distance, which I love. Tim the Yowie Man was so named after spotting a yowie in the rugged, snowy mountains of Australia. He has since carved out a curious career as a mystery investigator and crypto-naturalist, and is an authority on paranormal and unusual phenomena in Australia. He acts as a location historical advisor for international television programs. Interesting. I've never seen this before. Sorry, you go, Silver.
I was going to say, what surprised me most about that sentence was the snowy mountains of Australia. I wasn't 100% sure.
We do okay, here's the thing. We do have lots of different habitats, lots of different wildlife. We do get snow. Yeah. I've never seen it. But I know it's real. I've seen it on the television. I have relatives who've seen it. This is so sounding legit, isn't it? I was really peeved. In year 6, so that's the end of primary school, we had a trip to Canberra. And Canberra is our capital city of Australia. And we were all keen. It snows there. We went at the right time of year. We were all, we actually bought like puffy jumpers, okay? So we were so keen. We were so hyped. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna see snow for the first time. I'm 12 years old, world's at my feet. Off we go.
Stars in your eyes.
We're watching that temperature on our phones drop every single day. We knew the temperature every second of the day for a week. We were watching it. And no snow. We were absolutely devastated. But the knife twisting in the back was going on the bus. Anyone who's Australian knows the bus to Canberra from Queensland is long. We watched the SpongeBob SquarePants movie twice, going there and back. So that's 4 times. Like, feel my pain.
Do you not have any other movies?
No, obviously. Well, if we did, we didn't watch them. Anyway, so the day after, it was either while we were on the bus leaving or the day after, it snowed in the exact place we were staying. And we were devastated.
So close.
So close, man.
I don't know what you did to piss God off, but
I don't.
That was a slap in the face.
You haven't got time to list it, but anyway. But the fact that I'm 30 years old and talking about it right now tells you how devastated
you still haven't let it go. Yeah.
I have not let it go, and I still to this day haven't seen snow. Mac occasionally sends me Snapchats with not Snapchats. He's not on Snapchat. Why did I say that? He sends me little clips of snow to show me, to be like, this is what it looks like in real life, and I just sit there like,
oh, it's like you can watch YouTube, like you can see
I know.
pictures and things.
See,
it's a nice thought though.
Yeah, but it feels closer to it when I know a person who's seeing it live, and just like I'm one step closer.
Maybe that's why there's been so few Yowie sightings, is because they prefer snow. And Australia just doesn't really have that much.
My research does say that particularly the ape-like version, the giant version, is mountain country. So, and all the early white settlers got told to beware the ape-like creature in the mountains. So, like, maybe.
I will say one
Global
thing.
warming strikes again.
reading some of these like Australian news articles. I didn't do too much, but I like read a couple, and seeing quotes from Australians.
That's so fun.
I love your people.
I know.
They got some spirit. Like, my favorite was, again, this like Andrew McGinn guy who's just really just
He'd
full
fuck
out
it up,
confident.
doesn't he?
Yeah, he just full out confidence. I think it was because I just got into a rabbit hole of like his articles or something. But apparently there was a guy who reported seeing UFOs like around him. And this McGinn guy was like, I'm gonna go check out that guy in his territory because
Must be
like
the Yowies. It has to.
paranormal stuff. Like, I'm gonna go ask about it. And like he was like, have you seen any Yowies or whatever? And apparently this guy who reported seeing the UFOs just went, I only see things scooting around the sky. I don't see hairy monsters. And that was it. That was the quote they put in the paper.
Oh,
I was like, I love that. I love that's just such
Aussie gold.
yeah,
gold.
beautiful response.
You want more of that? Watch our morning shows or Australian politics. They're full of them. There's a compilation I recently watched on YouTube. They have compilations of them, and they're beautiful. They're just beautiful.
Well, I like that you have a senator who can just flat out say, like,
I know.
I saw a Yowie when I was a kid. Did people just like go
and he's
like,
a Queenslander?
or were like...
I'm a Queenslander. Shout out to all my poor Queenslanders who we lost game 1 of Origin. We can bring it back. Go Maroons.
By the time this airs, they will have won. And everything will be fine. Don't worry.
I have faith. It can happen.
Are they part of the your team? Were they part of the AFL?
It's NRL.
NRL.
Don't get me started. Don't.
It's just the Yowie candy bar. Going back to that,
yeah.
They're being from what I've seen, it's been released like a collaboration with the AFL.
Oh yeah.
So they're wearing jerseys.
They're wearing like Yowie candy jerseys.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I haven't seen that.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
I'm googling this right now. Hold on.
I think it's on Yowie's website. It's their candy bar website.
It's not a candy bar. It's not a candy bar.
I'm sorry. I got you going on that. I got it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I genuinely was picturing like this, like, I think because I'm thinking of this like British candy that starts with a Y instead. That's like
Isn't
a
it Yahoo
bar
or something?
I can't remember now.
Which would be interesting because that's another name for Yowie.
Yeah.
We got the Yoo-hoo here, which is a drink.
Oh,
yeah, that chocolate. Yeah.
Nothing about American candies or anything, so don't ask me.
I bet the Yowie candy, Yorkie, that's the candy bar I was thinking of. That's a dog. I bet like the chocolate that the Yowie candy uses is much better than American chocolate, though.
I'm going to cause some controversy. I can't say anything, but I have been to America. I have been to England. I have been to Australia. Obviously, I live here. Our chocolate is much better. Sorry.
I mean, I don't have any objection. I'm like, that's probably true.
Even your Kit Kats taste weird. I can't explain it. It just.
Oh yeah, if you have like a Japanese Kit Kat compared to American Kit Kat, there's some difference there. Let alone the fact that Japan has like 10,000 flavors of Kit Kat.
So this just in, you want some decent chocolate, come to Australia.
Well, we all know how much I consume sugar.
We know what happens when I consume sugar.
Yeah. I don't consume much sugar. but
I'm not
Wendy
supposed to.
Wendy becomes the Yowie. I think we've determined it. Like we've solved it here. Call up Tim the Yowie man. Call up Andrew McGinn or whatever. McCoy.
If I go missing, I'm in Andrew McGinn's basement or whatever.
I will say I was kind of scanning the Japanese version, the Hibagon, and it also was in the 70s that like it was first cited and like got really popular. And I think Bigfoot was like before that, I think, but I feel like the 70s were like a pretty big time for Bigfoot too. Was there just something about the 70s where people were like,
why are we finding all these awesome things in the 70s?
There was some drug use back then. I've heard.
I was like, are we allowed to talk about that? That was my first thought.
For some reason, I was thinking the big video from the big Bigfoot video also came out in the 70s.
That's what I feel like. Walking across. The Walking Man, or whatever. I'm not sure, but
I know our version of, you know, how you have the Bigfoot film. Our version of that was in 2000. A Canberra bushwalker named Steve Piper, and it's referred to as the Piper film, allegedly filmed what is supposed to be a Yowie in the Brindabella Mountains. Again, mountains. So maybe they're all in the mountains.
Have you watched it?
No, I have not.
I tried to find it and I could not find it.
I wonder if I can find
The only one I could find was the video from 2019 of the thermal imager camera they got the Yowie on.
I love that.
From Springbrook National Park.
Yep. Well, see, Springbrook, that's where the senator saw his. So, these are all the same places.
Maybe same Yowie.
Maybe.
It's all. We're working this out together now.
We're unraveling it.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a senator now. He's hiding the Yowie.
Maybe he became a Yowie. That's what happens. Has anyone seen Senator Bill O'Chee since 1977?
I haven't seen him once to begin with. Maybe if you eat too many Yowies,
you become a Yowie.
You become a Yowie.
And that's why they originally got
You would
off.
know, because you would by now, by your collection stories alone, I feel like you would be. But you did say you did say that there are occasionally female Yowie reportings.
Yes, they mention hairy woman. So, yeah, that was the only report that I found that said that. Could be, of course, thing of the times, unfortunately. But yeah, I saw the account that said hairy woman, and in that, what was interesting about that account is it only mentioned Yowie and hairy woman. It didn't make any mention of the male. Yeah,
I did see one. Again, the beauty of Australian news reporting. I did see one news report where a guy was like, it was just the way it was written was just so poetic, and I don't think I have the window open anymore, but it was a guy, basically. It was one man reported that he believed he saw a Yowie trying to steal his car, and reported a very hairy, long-armed person trying to steal his car. And then the next sentence was, but later his friend told him that it was probably just an Aboriginal or something like that. And that was the end of sentence. Move on to next topic. And I was
and it made no further mention, no name of the friend, nothing. It just full stop, and that's moved on.
Yeah, and that was it. And I was like, that's some great reporting. Yep. His friend told him this. Let's move on to the next topic. We won't even comment on what the guy replied with. Just that's all. Yeah.
Would you guys both like to move on to our next section? We kind of been in it a little bit. It's our media section.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yowie and modern media.
That was kind of a lot of.
Let's go.
A lot of it was there.
Sightings and stuff were media related, but our sections are all mixed up. It's okay.
When it's Wendy and I, they're gonna be mixed up.
It happens every time. So
welcome to the beautiful of my brain. We just jumped from topic to topic and hope we started close to where we started. I can't even.
We're like that. We're like that giant board with the red strings. Kaiser so saying it.
That is literally my bedroom. I have posters. I have
of the Yowie.
No, not of the Yowie. I wear. Oh, incidentally, I found an Australian company that actually they take the sightings, the descriptions from the sightings, and they make fan art for what the people have described, and you can buy it and have it. So I'm very interested. I found that this morning. No,
you might get yourself a poster.
I might. Who knows?
Full size Yowie poster.
Yeah. Put it on my door, and just people. All of these sightings will pop up. People thinking.
Put it somewhere where there's a mirror, so when people go to look at themselves in the mirror, they'll see over their shoulder the Yowie just
next to my shower.
Yeah, there you go.
Just randomly ship one to Mac.
Yes.
Without telling him.
Yep.
Yeah, don't say anything. Don't know. He'll know. He'll know.
He'll absolutely know it was me. He's used to my shenanigans already.
Anyway, Yowies in the media. What do we got? Do we have any sweet Harry and the Henderson style movies for Yowies, or that's a reference that the young Wendy is probably not going to get.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what that is.
Harry and the Hendersons is 1987 or something like that. But
Gulliver Travels
Oh
mentions
yeah,
the Yahoo,
yeah.
Yahoos.
Yep.
Uh, they got rock art and petroglyphs, which is
Of
old
Yowies?
of Yowies. Yeah, from what I've
Huh.
seen, like 5,000-year-old petroglyphs and rock art of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Season 8 of the soap opera.
Of a
Sorry.
soap opera.
We're doing so well.
Called A Country Practice, 1988, featured a suspected Yowie sighting.
Was it, I'm sure that was like a pivotal plot point for this soap opera. I saw that there was a band from St. Louis, Missouri that apparently was named the Yowies or something like that. And their first album was called like Cryptozoology or something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
brilliant.
First and possibly only album. I didn't really deep dive into that. I just saw that
They
was on
have-
Wikipedia.
Okay.
They have like 6 or 7 albums,
Oh,
and
really?
they are definitely
wow.
not my type of music I listen. They're on Spotify.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a bunch of different random noises going on at the same time.
I did see that it was described as like experimental.
Metal or something.
It was experimental something, and that's usually my sign to be like, probably not my jam. But
Okay, I found a list of popular cultural references. So
ooh.
we've got
Ooh.
Terra Australis, or Call of Cthulhu in the Land Down Under, first published in 1987. It's a supplement role-playing game. Includes the Yowie as one of the several mythical monsters of Australia. Yep, Country Practice is here, features a suspected Yowie sighting. And the Yowie chocolates, of course. Also, they had a TV show. I don't know if this is a correct memory, but I swear we had a TV show that I was obsessed with that had all the Yowies in it.
It's like a Mandela effect.
I don't. If it doesn't, I'll be very surprised. The main monster in
It's on YouTube.
is it is real? Yes,
Yeah,
It's real, and you can apparently still watch it.
I know what I'm doing after this.
I seen clips from it. So
Ah.
I'm so happy right now. That's what I'm doing after this immediately. The main monster in the 2003 animated film Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire is the Yowie Yahoo. Spoiler alert for those who haven't watched it. Yowies appear in the Australian Magical Creatures in the 2010 book Fablehaven, Keys to the Demon Prison. Oh my god. The 2014 action horror film Throwback centers on the discovery of and battle with a Yowie. I'm not a horror person, but I reckon I could be persuaded to watch that.
Oh, I was gonna say, have either of you seen that?
No, I have not. I didn't. And then you've got like animation references where they confuse something for a Yowie, but you've also got an animated YouTube series, The Big Les Show. Titular character hangs out with the Yowies named Sassy and Donnie. And then finally, this is from 2025. The children's fiction book Yowie Dreaming, A Tale of Friendship and Adventure, is about the discovery of a baby Yowie. It's set in Kilcoy, which is where the Yowie statue resides, actually.
I did see that there's apparently in Final Fantasy X, a Yowie is one of the enemies, but it's like a reptile. So I feel like that's just like
That's not
Japan named it a Yowie, but this is like different meaning. Like this is not like related to this Yowie at all.
I feel like they just use the
That's
name.
yeah.
that's like I'm surprised Scooby Doo. They're usually pretty accurate, semi-accurate on their monsters, but they got the Yowie Yahoo as just a vampire.
Oh really? It's just, like
Yeah.
it's not even a Yowie.
It's not hairy at all. It's just like a
Just a
vampire
Oh
using
my
the
gosh,
Yowie
yes,
name.
I'm reading.
Oh.
Yep. Through Sydney,
Scooby-Doo,
Australia.
what the heck, man?
They go to Sydney, outback, called a place called Vampire Rock.
That's not
Okay.
real? That's not
No.
a real place?
No,
Are
unfortunately
you
not.
sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Man.
The movie is redeemed by the Hex Girls, though. They do appear in.
Yep.
So there is something
Hmm.
good about that.
The throwback, that movie looks like it has 3.7 out of 10 as its rating.
I'm looking up a movie still
this
from these.
character, I love this artwork. The film poster for it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think there's like different throwback movies because I got one that does not look like a Yowie horror movie. It looks like a romantic comedy.
This one is a they made a German version of it too because
Found
I can't speak German. Why am I trying? But there's a German version of it apparently, but it's in a 2014 Australian independent action horror film.
I mean, the art's great for that poster.
I love it. Budget of $4,000.
It's very Crocodile Dundee.
The quality of the filming, I can just tell from the stills. I'm like, this looks great.
Movie night in the Discord. Hey, Rusalka, let's go.
No.
Yeah. It reminds me very much of Lamageddon.
This is like a Circa film. This is a film that Circa might have like a movie night of.
Yeah.
Circa's played those kind of like Tammy and the T-Rex and like a lot of those old kind of goofy films.
I really want to watch this.
Oh man.
I mean, I kind of have to. It just like.
I mean, you're the Yowie expert. If you really want to be Wendy the Yowie woman, you have to
stop saying that.
Commit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get sued by Tim the Yowie man, and I do not want to.
He does seem very keen on suing people.
I don't respect to Tim the Yowie man. I don't want to get. Don't put that on me. I'm an expert in falling over. That's about it.
There you go. And collecting Yowie candies.
Yeah. I just glanced at the cast list of the throwback, and I thought I read Bruce Lee, but it's actually Bobby Lee. I was like, it confused me there for a second. I was like, what's Bruce Lee doing?
Like, oh, did he come back from the dead?
The Australian version of Bruce Lee.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee.
Oh, your list that you read off was probably the exact same list I had, because the only thing I have that's different is, as of like a week ago, there's been videos popping up across TikTok, like AI. I know you can tell they're AI, but it's a Yowie vlogging.
Oh my god! So like they're just in the woods and they're like, so today I'm making like drip coffee.
You can't
like,
see this, but I'm just
day.
continuously shaking my head. Just
yeah. I'm not on TikTok, and I don't watch the TikToks.
I think the only one that I've seen a couple, but the one that sticks with me is a skeleton behind the Yowie. He's like, I just came across this hiker. He was generous enough to give me his camera. It's just a skeleton of a hiker, and that's how he started.
I just happened to find him. I found him like this.
I've got nothing, absolutely nothing.
It's really weird. Find a body out here that just no one else around, just me. But yeah, it's just super weird. But I got this camera now.
I think the next one was he had the hiker's clothes just thrown over his shoulders. Yeah, I just thrifted these nice hiking clothes.
Oh god,
that's a new way to say it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
they're just so weird.
So
I've seen
grave robbing is now thrifting, and is that what?
Technically.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yep. Isn't that part of the Yowie candy guys?
Yeah, this is canon with the Yowie like children's books. Those Yowies to support the environment would absolutely
don't buy into capitalism, kids. Reuse from the grave and save the environment.
Yeah, perfect. Don't light fires.
Yep.
Steal clothes from hikers that are dead. How they died, we don't know.
I'm just dying.
Don't ask questions.
You can use my clothes after I'm gone.
Yeah.
Oh man. Are Yowies carnivorous or are they herbivores? Is there any consensus on that?
It depends which type you're talking about. From the accounts that I saw, where it's more the Yahoo and the giant, terrifying angry ones, it's they can in fact hide in the hollows of trees and come out and get unsuspecting people. The whole go to sleep before they come type of thing is because is one of the things I saw was that they would lure children and eat them. And there was this one account I read where hunters would actually go out into the forests and mountains and whatnot and imitate the cries of young children, and they would pop their heads out and then they would actually burn the abodes of the creatures so that they couldn't come out and steal their kids.
Huh.
Oh man.
So there are
Sounds like an
accounts.
excuse to
Yeah,
have some grown men go to the woods, scream like children, and burn some stuff.
it does, doesn't
Like-
it? And that's why we have these lovely Yowie books telling us not to light fires.
Don't light
full
the
circle.
homes of Yowies on fire.
Yep.
I would have. I mean, we had in America, we had like Smokey the Bear to try to tell us like not to light forest fires. But
Smokey
honestly,
the
he
Bear.
really was like phoning it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smokey the Bear. Can you? Yeah, he was kind of phoning it in. I feel like he didn't do. Like we didn't have these great little like stories or like.
Oh yeah,
He
they
just
don't.
was like
They
only
don't
you
do
can
it.
prevent.
They don't do it
forest fires.
half-assed either. Like they literally. I remember
We didn't have Smokey the Bear candy.
the boof Yowie. I remember he got a lyrebird, and a lyrebird in Australia is one that
Oh,
can
I love
imitate.
lyrebirds.
They can imitate
Yeah.
sounds. So they actually made this giant pit and covered it with leaves, and the lyrebird dances on the leaves and does the calls. That sounds like some other grumpkins have come and are taking over the forest.
Their own dying children
Yeah.
sounds like
No, more like a territorial
Luring 'em.
thing. Like the grumpkins come in and they're like, "Oh no, there's someone else who's here. We're destroying this forest. You need to bugger off." So they come.
I see.
And the lyrebird obviously moves, and their grumpkins fall into this pit. And they're like, "Well, what you gonna do now, mate? You're stuck in this pit. You should have not been cutting down the trees." So they don't. They're not. They're not cuddly. Like
What a conundrum.
they're like, "Oh, look, consequences. Look, this is the consequences."
So
of
they
your
do take
actions."
action. Like they
They
are
do.
like
Like here, look. They're
yeah.
using.
I don't think Smokey ever did anything.
See, the
aggressive.
animals are banding together to literally like drop all
Some
leaves and
dropping
rocks on
rocks
top
and
of
stuff, yeah.
on top of the grumpkins because they've invaded.
They are
and-
like actively trying to kill the
Yeah,
Grumpkins.
they-
Smokey was
Yeah.
always more just like trying to guilt
it's-
trip
yeah.
you into like not starting fires.
And it's really funny because
He's very
like,
guilty.
you have this whole book of the environment is to be protected, everything is sacred, and then you like have these awful grumpkins ruining everything, and then they try to actively, let's be real, kill the grumpkins, like Rusalka said. And then at the very end, you have this message of like, you know, it's so peaceful, which is hilarious. You can find it in the desert, you can sense it on the breeze. It shines upon the wetlands, it hides among the trees. You'll find it in the forest. It sparkles in the stream. It's that magic Yowie kingdom in the heart of every dream. Share the magic of Yowie power. And that's the end.
Yowie powers.
Yeah, Yowie power.
Killing your
They
enemies.
had this call that they put out every time they needed help. It was like, I'm not doing it. What am I doing?
Well, it started so strong though. Come on.
Grump, Yabu, Yowie. Like it's literally.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That you did it right. That's
Mhm.
phonetically. Yeah.
Yep, that's my Yowie impression.
10 out of
There you
10.
go.
See, Smokey just like had a shovel, but he never used it. He was like Chekhov's gun. You always saw him with the shovel, but he never really like did anything with that shovel
That doesn't
that
work.
you know of. He supposedly was like putting out fires, like
Mhm.
like stirring up the campfire after you.
Is that like
a?
a euphemism? He was actually, you know, dunk.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it would have been much more effective if you had had that sort
Probably.
of thing like officially in the canon. I would have been like, oh
mean,
geez, yeah.
The
like,
Yowies
let's
only
not
had
start
one book
fires.
each. Clearly, their methods worked.
Yeah, 200 million copies or whatever
Yeah.
sold.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
What talking about this and then looking at Smokey the Bear just reminded me to think of. Do you think Smokey the Bear was just a hidden Bigfoot
I was
because
just
he
like,
has the
Yes.
5
yeah.
fingers?
I was like, is he a cryptid? Is Smokey the Bear?
He thrifted his hat and pants off a hiker
Like
in
Ranger.
Yellowstone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying so
Oh my
hard not
God.
to snort laugh on this podcast. Stop it.
I mean, he kind of doesn't have a neck either. He's got more of a snout though on him. I did see that some descriptions said the Yowie had like a wide and flat
Yes,
nose.
that is
So
true.
this guy's probably not so much Yowie because it's pretty long, pointy nose.
Again, a lot
but-
of the original accounts describe the flat nose and everything. So maybe.
I don't know. I would actually Again, they really missed an opportunity with Smokey the Bear.
They
I'm
really
just
did.
now hearing like
They
your
did.
Yowie version. I'm like,
They need to
why don't
make.
we have?
They need to make a
Yeah.
throwback movie. Obviously, action horror. The market is there. Clearly, they need to make a Smokey the Bear action horror flick.
I'm surprised there's not like a video game yet. That's like because they have all like Thomas Tank Engine's scary games now, and like all these like childhood like characters that are now being horror games.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, there's going to be a
Yeah.
Smokey the Bear one.
Unfortunately, Smokey the Bear is not in public domain yet.
Ah, that's why. That's got to be why. Because I was like, as soon as that's released, there's going to be like a flurry of Smokey the Bear.
He's only around 80 years old.
We generally in the 90s to early 2000s we had activity books, so you got a lot of activity books with all the different characters in them and a lot of games.
Yep, I had Ranger
and
Rick as my
and
activity books.
The soft toys. I do remember the like special edition Yowies. Like everyone was mad trying to find them. Again, this is my childhood. So Balthazar communicated through a crystal, right? And they had this series where I've actually got one. Where they did like each of the 6 Yowies in a crystal. So you had your own Yowie crystal. And I, in fact, have one. I have Ditty, who was the Lily Pilly Yowie.
So you can communicate with Diddy?
Yep. Yep.
Was he the platypus?
No. Ditty.
That's Squish, I think.
He's got a big nose. Yes, correct. Squish is the platypus looking one. Ditty is like, he's got this massive mustache going on.
Oh, he's a... Oh.
Oh, he's like like Crash Bandicoot. Or no, Wallaby?
He kind of looks like the Lorax. Is the green one?
Yeah, it's the green one. Yeah, and he's involved in trees. So yeah, think more Lorax thing. Yeah, because one looks like a kangaroo, kind of. One looks like a koala. One looks like a bandicoot.
So these are kind of like non-traditional Yowies.
They're kind of like, they're kind of like Yowies,
like
hybrid
Yowies.
with Australian well-known wildlife. It's probably to appeal to kids.
Yeah. I would, yeah.
And they're bright colors.
I think they look cool, yeah.
Well, I love them. Clearly.
Yeah, no doubt.
This is just the Wendy Appreciation Yowie podcast at the moment, let's be real.
That was what it was aimed to be from the beginning, I think, so.
Wendy, the Yowie expert.
Yeah, Wendy, the
Yowie
woman.
No. I'm not affiliated with these people. Tim the Yowie man, don't come for me.
Oh, man.
He deals with the crypto natural ones. You deal with the candy.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to take on Cabri either. No. I'm a penniless writer. I can't take on a confectionery company.
Well, everyone should go buy your book, and then you won't be a penniless.
Segue.
Right? Yeah. By the way, is there any Yowie poetry in your book of romance poetry?
There is not. It probably has something to do with the fact it's Greek mythology.
That's right.
So that kind of doesn't work with that.
Is there plans for a crossover?
Book 2 is...
Yeah, it's my secret project, book 2.
Sorry to spoil that for...
Yeah. There goes my marketing strategy.
This is the marketing strategy.
Well, we can move into the last section, which we've mixed in a little bit. It's mayhem.
We haven't even reached mayhem yet?
We haven't oh my god. You're going to be editing for days.
Well, that and I thought we already hit that mayhem point. We got to escalate it even more.
Okay, let's go.
Well, this little section of mayhem that we usually do, if you're familiar with it, is, which Rusalka has done the first part before. Then we added some stuff. Episode 5 was a while ago.
Yeah. What episode is this going to be?
This is 117.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nice.
I was 5. I was episode 5.
You were episode 5, yeah.
Wow.
You're our first... Or 5 or 10. You might have been 10.
Yeah.
I listened
to
your episode before doing this. I listened to it on the train. I had lots of fun.
I try to not listen to it. I find it...
No, good. It was good.
Uncomfortable. But I'll probably listen to this one once, and then...
I'm excited to hear what Silver keeps and what he doesn't.
Silver's gonna keep all of it. That's what you don't
God.
know. I already ruined it by like giving timestamps earlier.
Oh,
so
no.
Silver's now like, well, we can't edit any of it out because Rusalka gave like timestamps for specific points in the podcast. It'll be the first hour and 16-minute podcast. Fine.
Yeah, I just looked up your traveler card. It was episode 10.
10.
There we go.
That's still.
But we talk about if the monster was real or more actively around people, where it was confirmed sightings, how society would change around it. Then the second part is, if we threw it in a college, what job would it have?
I have some thoughts about the college portion of that question.
I do too.
But
go ahead.
I don't know about if it was thrown. I feel like the whole Yowie thing, they make it a point to avoid society. So I think it gets more of the same, where you have all these fabulous news articles of people seeing them or not seeing them. And honestly, at this point, if I was a Yowie and I was I make sure they were as interesting as possible. So I'd be like climbing a telephone pole, just like, you know, like I do random things so that the news articles could be as weird as possible of the sightings. I feel like
you're like, let's spice this
yes,
up.
let's go.
Like
for the modern era, like in one of the old Telstra phone booths, you walked past and you saw a Yowie making a phone call, and then you walk back and it's gone, and you have to wonder, did I really see that? Like that type of thing.
I feel like I can see them shadowing in like wood ninjas, campers and stuff. So if they leave a fire going, they can go after them.
It out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And kill them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some other part of natural Australian wildlife just disguises it as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a secret government conspiracy that every time someone goes missing is actually a Yowie and the government's hiding it up.
The government's like, it was dingoes.
Yep.
Those dingoes did it again.
It's actually a Yowie the whole time.
Yeah. See, I can see it being both ways, where either like you have the possibility that the Yowies would be very shy and like continue to kind of like shun the spotlight, or I feel like there would be ones that would just be like, you know what, I'm unique, people are interested in me, I'm gonna be an influencer, and are just like taking every like marketing brand, like hawking the candy, just doing like and being like, I'm gonna showcase like hair care products, like that's like, and be like, look at how you can get your like like I have these new hair care products and like this new Dyson dryer, and like I'm gonna show you, like I feel like that's like a possibility too, if they were like in today's modern stupid culture that is like focused on like TikTok and whatnot. I feel like there's a high possibility.
And they'd be like, this is an eco-friendly toilet to have in the bush.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, if they went to college and got a job, I feel like they would be in something like environmental sciences, like environmental preservation.
Absolutely.
Something like that. If not cosmetology for hair. But
nice. Yeah, I had this idea.
Cosmetology.
I had this idea if it was like the spirit ghost version, and the Yowie would be like one of those ghost stories that like it'd be at an old university, and that tower is haunted by the Yowie, and he comes out and makes all this like mystic, all these legends for the university. He'd be the ghost of the tower or ghost of the such and such building, and then if he was like, my friends and I were joking about this before it came on here, like if he was the version where he just kind of appears and he is huge, he'd be like one of the people in Brisbane Park who just come out and flash you and then disappear. And like we were talking about this, and it got derailed very fast.
Is that a common issue in Brisbane Park?
No comment.
All right, noted. Don't go to Brisbane Park after dark.
It's Brisbane. I mean, it's a concentrated group of Aussies, and we're all insane. So you know, you do the math.
I think if we had the Yowie though, that's the one that's like aggressive and like eats children. I mean, that Yowie would be in jail, right?
Yes.
Like I mean,
like a serial killer. It would be a serial killer. Absolutely.
Yeah, you'd be getting tried for multiple murders.
There'd be podcasts dedicated to the evidence of the Yowie serial killer.
That's right. There'd be oh my god, if we had real life crime podcasts about like cryptids that
Yes.
got arrested for doing what cryptids do, which is like killing people. Like a whole new genre of true
Hashtag
crime.
living my best life.
Maybe you need to make that, Silver. That should be your next podcast, is like making these basically true crime podcasts as if cryptids committed the crimes, and like go into detail about that. Because you aren't doing enough. You're a man
like a
with too much time on your hands.
Like
I always see you lazing about. You're always like, I got nothing to do, and I'm bored.
Here's an entire new project.
Yeah, here's a new project.
You have to write everything yourself. You have to, do all the voices for the different creatures.
I believe in you. Silver's just like, no.
And my answer to that is no.
Yeah, like, okay. Like, moving on.
I'll put it on the idea board. You mentioned the cosmetology student or teacher before. I didn't even think about that with all the hair.
Yeah, I didn't think
I mean, you'd have to get good at managing that hair, right? Like,
I had hair down to my butt in school, and I'm just like, as someone who lives here in Australia, if you have long hair and it's thick, it knots so fast. I remember I'd brush my hair for hours, step outside, and it's just one giant knot. So I can't imagine having it all over my body. You'd have to be brilliant at hair care. You'd have to be.
Yeah, otherwise you'd just be like a matted mess.
Yeah.
Like,
would they require the Yowie to wear human clothes?
No, I think they'd just freeball it.
But if they went to a shop, there was like no shirt, no shoes.
Yep, no.
Yowies don't shop.
No, I mean,
Yowies
tons of people here don't wear shoes to the shop, so I'm like, he'd fit right in. He'd be going down to Bunnings, getting his Bunnings sausage and just chatting to everyone, and yep, it'd be great. Everyone would just like, all right, how you doing, mate? How's the wife?
Yeah. How's fam?
Yep. How you doing? See you, Savo. Bye. Catch you later. It'd be just like that. I bet you anything. He's probably just walking around anyway, and we just haven't noticed, or if we've noticed, we're just like, all right.
Just can't be bothered.
No.
It's actually young Yowies that are going to Brisbane at night flashing people.
Yep. Absolutely.
They would.
The youth.
Yeah.
Rebellious.
The hair doesn't grow until after they reach adult height.
Oh, God.
And then straight to jail.
Yep. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
I honestly don't remember if I've mentioned the things I wrote down or not.
I'm very good at derailing conversations.
And I love it.
Like, I had my own agenda and I just like crashed through.
Jane.
Wendy I can tell you had this like very well crafted, like thoroughly researched, organized.
Let's be real.
Yeah, like you had it all planned out, and then I was like, "Tell me about if Yowies had
throwing Crocodile Dundee in there. It's been
Crocodile
brilliant.
Dundee. Like,
I've even got like little notations of how to like pronounce things if I forget. Like I've got references, I've got names. Like
this is why it's been I was on episode 10, and now it's taken over 100 episodes for Silver to invite me back.
Yep.
And he only did it out of sheer desperation.
Yep.
Because he was like, man, Rusalka always.
This will bring Wendy in. She'll be willing to come in if I bring Rusalka.
Yeah, for some reason. Like, but Rusalka always is troublemaker. The episodes end up being such a bitch to edit because Rusalka talks too long. She derails conversations. She starts talking about Crocodile Dundee, Quigley Down Under, Harry and the Hendersons. All these 80s movies references that no one gets.
And then you're bringing me the Chaos Goblin from Australia.
Sure, it's quite a combination.
Yep.
The Yowie Queen. The Yowie...
Oh, God. Yep. Not this again.
Expert.
Yowie royalty.
Yeah. I'm putting it on the Wikipedia page as soon as this podcast ends, by the way. I've never edited a Wikipedia page in my life.
The Australian government comes to my house. It wasn't me. It was Rusalka.
No.
I did not edit the Wikipedia.
We get some news through the Discord a couple weeks later that Wendy's been recruited for the Yowie Spec Ops program.
Yes.
As the leader.
Like, in a real twist of fate, Tim, the Yowie man, actually reaches out to you and is like, I want to make an alliance. Like, let's join forces.
I mean,
like,
I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with that.
Get a letter from the senator. You found my secret.
Do we get paid in Yowie chocolate? Because I mean, like,
are the toys like still the same, or are they like updated toys where now it's like licensed
they
stuff?
added more creatures. I know that when the
Hmm.
relaunch happened, they added a bunch of more Australian species to it. They also like have a dinosaur line randomly, but again, I love dinosaurs, so I'm not really complaining, even though it's
I
not.
gotta find some Yowie candies.
There's
Yeah,
even an American line too.
there is.
What?
They have
As of
yeah.
what was it 2014? I want to say.
Yep.
See, I wrote this down, man. Yep, 2000 relaunched in 2014 in US markets. So,
And it has the toy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Well, in Walmart's website, you can order them.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
It's like $36 for a 6-pack or something like that.
Jeez.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
It's expensive.
I'm never
Whoa.
complaining about my like $2 or $5 Yowie ever again.
I was gonna say that must be because it's like
Yeah,
import or like.
it's gotta be. Because
That
like
is.
originally when we were growing up, I remember there were $1, so you'd get your $1 and you go to down the road.
Yeah,
and
that seems
get your-
fair.
But like
guess for,
now,
like,
I think
kid
nowadays
candy
they're $2 to
price.
$5 because
Oh, geez, that's inflation.
Yep, inflation.
This economy.
Yep,
Yeah.
all of that.
$17.76 for a 6-pack or
Jeez.
$2.96 for a single one.
$2.96 for a single. Oof.
Yeah.
I will say, as somebody who like, when I go back to America, I frequently buy a bunch of like American candy to bring back as like gifts for people here in Japan. And I did like, I don't buy candy usually. Like I don't buy it for myself. So the last time I had really bought candy is probably when I was a kid. And I was like looking at the prices and going, oh my God, like this stuff, has it always been like this expensive for some of this stuff? Like, I don't remember as a kid having this like conundrum, but maybe I just didn't have anything else to spend my money on. But I feel like things were like $1, $1.50, and now they're like $2.50.
Speaking of
Like,
inflation, I just googled it. Came up website for us here. Yowie, one Yowie will set you back $3.25.
American dollars or
No, it's
Australian? I don't know what the
Australian.
conversion rate is. But...
What's the yen?
Yeah,
Oh, in
what's
yen,
the-
it's probably like a super super cheap.
So
I wonder if we have Yowies here. Let me see. Yowie candy, Japan.
Okay, so apparently it's currently $2.09 in US.
It was apparently released in Japan at some point.
Really?
There's also, I just like when Googling this, it's like, why, as somebody asked, why are Kinder Surprise eggs illegal, but Yowies are okay? It's all.
Purely because it's Australian, so like we made it, so it's all right.
I don't know. I thought the thing with like, there was like a choking hazard
Yeah.
was the reason why.
Because it has that
Kinder-
little.
Maybe
has
because
little-
you have like the egg, yeah, because it's like the toys inside a
Mm.
plastic egg.
Mm.
So,
The Kinder Surprise just had the plastic right inside the chocolate shell, I think.
oh,
I mean,
People
it
are just
kind of
biting
is
it.
just
yeah.
in there, but
Just-
I know it has a little tab so that the lid can't come off, but you can break it. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently it's released in Japan, but
To find yourself a Yowie Rusalka.
I'm just curious how much it costs. Like, it's probably like 500 yen or something like that. I'll be on the lookout now.
Mm.
I'll let you know. But Japan is like, I mean, we have like gacha here, so it's like having little toys inside balls is like
Yeah.
Be the next stream train. Yeah.
Just chowing
live
down
stream
some
of me.
Yowies.
me consuming Yowies and not enjoying it because it's chocolate. Oh man, the toys look great though. The toys look like what I used to like walk down to the corner. I sound so. I mean, I'm 900 years old. But this sorry, like as I'm saying it, I'm like, this sounds so ancient. I used to walk down to the corner shop on our square and buy like these little like 25-cent little plastic animals.
Yep.
Take them home, line them up on my shelf.
Yep.
Occasionally play with them, mostly just stare at them.
I used
yeah.
to love the Yowie ones because it wasn't just a toy. It'd come with like this little tiny leaflet and it would tell you like what habitat it came from and like its scientific name and like all the what if it was an endangered species or not, and it would give you a full-on little lesson about what the animal was, and they still do that.
That's nice. It's very like conservation forward.
Yeah.
I think the US one I seen, they had one of the ivory billed woodpecker. And It's like $50,000 reward for a photo of the ivory-billed woodpecker because it hasn't been seen since the 30s.
Yeah. Although I thought I saw something where somebody like supposedly said they saw it like in the last decade, but I never followed up on that. So
The latest sighting of a Yowie was, I think, last year.
are you gonna go search for some?
Yep, we're all going to collectively look for Yowies.
I'm gonna look for the candy. I want to be clear.
Oh,
My
okay.
Yowie
I'm
search
talking about the
is-
actual, like,
Yeah. You search for the actual one. I'm gonna search for the candy one. Silver, which one are you gonna search for?
Uh,
Or both?
I'm looking for the real one eating a chocolate one.
nice.
Could die happy after that.
Yep.
If the Yowie didn't kill you.
Yeah. If you survive to tell the tale.
Yeah.
I'll try and make friends with it. I won't throw a rock at it.
Yeah. Don't throw a rock at it and scare it away and then offer a reward of 40 pounds or like a commission fee of 40 pounds to go kill it.
I wonder if you approach the Australian Museum, you'd get 40 pounds now if you found it.
Oh my God.
Is that
Like, by the way,
is it still current?
is that offer still stand?
Yeah.
Can I get that 40 pounds now? In answer to your question, Silver, I don't have anything else to add.
I don't think I have anything else to add either.
It's been an honor and a pleasure.
This has been so much fun.
It's very informative.
I'll do our normal sign off real quick and thank you all for listening to this Mayhem cross-continental episode. Thanks our patrons of Ruby, Mage, and Mondi. I about forgot the last one, which is the same three every week.
Become a patron.
Yes.
Patronize this.
More of this.
Rusalka and Wendy, would you guys like to plug yourself for anything? Your books, your stream?
If you are interested in Greek mythology and poetry, I have a poetry collection, Love Divine, a collection of poetry by Wendy Bird. I'm very proud of it. It's on Amazon. Links in my link tree.
Yeah. I can promote myself. Yeah, you can find me on Twitch, Rusalka_Rusalka. I also have a merch shop that I periodically add stuff to. It's not always Twitch related, it's usually just random designs.
I have several of it. They're awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Rusalka-shop.fourthwall.com. But yeah, thank you, Silver, for this opportunity, and Wendy, the Yowie woman, thank you so much for this educational experience.
Thanks for having me. This was super fun.
Thank you both for joining in. It was a blast, and you guys can come on anytime you want if you have any other monsters you want to talk about.
You really want all of this again? Oh my God.
Episode 210. That's when we're coming back.
Yeah. You need 100 episodes more to recover.
I'm like a Haley's Comet. I got like 100 episode cycle or something.
That Chaot's not here, but we got a recorded outro that she's going to say here.
Thank you for listening to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver and Chaotic take you into the depth of the lore and discuss how these legends could affect modern-day society. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or almost any podcast service easiest to you. Dive into the depths of chaos with us every Wednesday, bar Silver and Chaotic not missing their scheduling, and consider joining the podcast Discord or Twitter, following even more insider looks and even some D&D sessions. If you'd like some extra special inside looks or even want to be a guest on the show, consider helping us via Patreon. Your help makes such a big difference to us both. Until next time, Mythics, you never know what kind of mayhem we might get into.